Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. So, today, as you know, NXT is picking up right where it left off last week. As you know, at the end of the programming last week, we saw the surprise of Cruz Montana, or as we knew him in TNA, Mike Santana. So, as you know, word has been going around of him making his appearance. We will hear from him what is his real intentions now in NXT. What are his goals and plans? Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out, but we'll figure that out as well. But however, we do have other things of pressing matters. The NXT North American Championship is on the line, of course. Miles Bourne defends it against Cam Hendricks in the matter if he wins, he and Tavian Heights will have a shot against, of course, the Vanity Project for the NXT Tag Team belts. So we'll see how that progresses. We do have Izzy Dane versus Lizzie Rain, which is going to be a banger of a match, of course, to enjoy. And of course, we have plenty other things as well as we prepare for next week with the NXT Women's Championship on the line, of course, in an underground NXT Underground match. But that's until next week, folks. And then, of course, after that, we move on to updates. As you know, we're close to the end of the month and the start of August with WrestleCon. So more names have been added for a while now, and I will give you guys details on what days these individuals will be, if there's any pricing on either autographs or photos. So we'll see how things will go. And then, as always, we wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates. Give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We've been, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We've been, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We've been, of course, do some real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We've, of course, got the Nike Sayaku Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. School is in session, so is only our one review episode only, so let's get started with NXT. Okay, NXT. Now, what I failed to mention earlier in the start of this video, we had a surprise return from Grayson Waller. Now, for those who may not know, he was part of the NXT brand before he got the call up. Now, it was still unclear why he made his appearance. Well, it turns out he said he was in a funeral, talking about, of course, the New Day. If you guys been following what's going on and him in the main roster, he was very tight with those guys, with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. However, he feels now that things have been slowing down for him. But he felt like everybody, such as former NXT champions, had the red carpet, of course, but he felt that he has never got that red carpet that he needed. So he came back, obviously, for the NXT championship. But however, he decided to take a shot about saying how weak the entire men's division inside NXT has become. He believed that the NXT women's locker room has become better than the men's, and that somehow they got around. So he's declaring, and not to mention he took jabs of our current champion Tony D'Angelo, saying things about his son and all that other stuff. But of course, that's how he's gonna be. So he wants to run his mouth. But if I were you, Grayson Waller, I wouldn't be so lucky if you're still getting involved in this. Now, Miles Bourne along with Tavian Heights, let's just say that, as you know, Miles Bourne will defend the NXT championship, the NXT North American champion to be corrected, against Cam Hendricks. But however, Mason Rourke has his fair issues towards him. But they're trying to tell him, dude, please do not get involved in this, because if you ruin this, you ruin our opportunity for a shot of the NXT tag team belts. Of course, but Mason Rourke is the kind of person who, wants to get what he wants. It's understandable, but Tavian Hitz, he's gonna try to handle that personally. So we'll see. Now, our first opening match is Lizzie Rain versus Izzy Dame. So yeah, we got the Izzies here in this match, and I thought it was a pretty good, impressive match. But of course, when it comes to Izzy Dame, wherever she goes, Nico Vance is of course right by her side. However, things got out of control, of course, with the arrival of Shawn Spears, causing the distraction for Izzy Dame until Lizzie applied Thunderstruck, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So just like that, she picked up the win. Now, in the back, we saw Noam Dar and Romeo Moreno, of course, talking to the newly arrival of Cruz Montana. Of course, Cruz telling Romero the congratulations on Spain on their win at the World Cup and all that. And of course, he tells them how special to see these two teaming up together, and that's something they felt very appreciated. Of course, we had Saquon show up and tell, look, I'm sorry that we lost. Like, no, don't worry, everything you guys pulled up the fully. And of course, on that, and of course, Mike Santana hasn't forgotten the last time he ran into him, but he told him, hey, I'm turning into a new leaf. So basically, he's trying to tell him, I'm not that guy anymore, so I'm going to be who I am. However, Cruz was in fact approached by Kalani Jordan, trying to say that he's wasting his time being in NXT because he felt all of this, but he just ignored her and just walked away, did what he wants to do. Now, we have Mr. Stone's office. Well, as you probably can guess, he has to deal with the Vanity Project complaining because, of course, they don't want to put Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor don't want to put the NXT tag team belts on the line against Heights and Bourne. However, Mr. Stone said, what, are you guys afraid of them? I'm like, no, then act like men and face them. So that was the thing until Kiana Carver shows up. I don't know what Lockwood was looking at, but yes. So then he said he's not going to go out there EK Prosper. So it seems like he's changing into a new leaf, whatever. So I don't know exactly if that's true or not, but we'll see. Now, Jada Parker, of course, was in the locker room just chilling until Thea Hale told her, that she finally got her win against Natty and all that. But, of course, she didn't mind that Thea Hale got involved because she knows exactly the ego that Natty could be. But, however, Thea Hale informed her that she was in Mr. Stone's office having 5 minutes of her time. But he did inform that Natty is pissed. But, however, she put both Thea Hale and Jada Parker in the same match, tag teaming against, of course, Nikita Lyons and Carmen Petrovic as retaliation towards what happened to Natty in last week's match. Now, our next match is the NXT North American Championship. Miles Bourne defends it against Cam Hendricks. So basically, Cam Hendricks made a beeline and hoping to attack, of course, Miles Bourne, and hopefully he can win this one fast. But of course, in the back, Tavian Hodge and Mason Rourke were watching this, but Mason Rourke decided to just leave and deal with Cam Hendricks the right way. But however, Tavian has tried to stop him. Look, no, don't do this. But of course, this distraction caused, of course, Cam Hendricks. But it was the Born Again that sealed the deal for Miles Bourne, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the belts. That means he and Tavian Heights get a shot of the tag belts. However, Tavian tells, well, Cam Hendricks all yours, go for it. So they continue brawling. But of course, wherever while that was happening, Vanity Project wanted to send a message to both Heights and Bourne, telling them we're not losing the belts, but they fought back valiantly. So we'll see how things roll next week. Now, we did see an interview with Emily with Lizzie Rain eating some popcorn chicken from KFC and all that, And then of course she said that she is going to keep an eye on the underground championship match that will happen next week. But of course Tristan Angels, as you know, is disappointed with Lizzie hanging out with Shallow Hill because of course he thinks that Shallow Hills is an embarrassment and that Lizzie Rain is, of course, how do I say, in the wrong side because he thinks, hey, we're both British guys, we need to stick together. But for her, it's like, nope, no, we're not. You're just obnoxious. That's what she thinks of him. So we'll see what happens. Now, OTM, of course, are ready against the members of Birthright until they were approached by Berto and Garza, members of Los Perros del Mar. Now, as you know, Bronco Lima is a member of that group, so you probably can guess what's happening in this matter. Now, Mr. Stone in the office, of course, with Zarya, of course, are trying to determine exactly how things will go for the upcoming, for her next opponent for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Ren Sinclair shows up and asks her, hey, look, as Mr. Stone, look, what's going to happen now? I need a competitor. So, Mr. Stone came up with an idea. Told Ren Sinclair, here's the deal. Ren Sinclair, if you win this match against, of course, Zarya, then you get a shot. So that's kind of put it up. So she said that she put the speed belt on the line as well. So let's see how that goes too. Now our next match is Birthright, consistent of Stax and Oriah Connors versus OTM, Bronco Lima and Bruce Price. Things were going well, but of course we all know wherever Birthright and wherever Stax and Connors are at, we know Dempsey and Lexis King are right there along with Aria Grace to get involved. However, of course, things got a little interesting with the arrival of both Berto and Garza, causing the distraction for Lucian Price to lose the match. I don't know what exactly is going on, but we'll see how that plays out too. Now, Lizzie Dame, along with Kalani Jordan and Callie Armstrong, are very much going at the same thing about hoping for a shot of the title and all that. But Reina Volcan says it's not about, this and that, it's about this. So she kind of put up a very interesting point of view on that. Now, our next match, we have Shallow Hill versus Tristan Angels. Now, of course, Tristan Angels, as you know, has been declaring himself that he believes that he is the actual standard of what NXT should be because of his good looks and all that. However, Shallow Hill is just being Shallow Hill, just being a bit of a weirdo, but a good kind, of course. But, however, he ended up taking a bit of the Super Thunder neck breaker onto him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So that means Tristan Angels have lost. Now, if I was him, let it go. It's over. Now, of course, the show doesn't end without the arrival of Cruz Montana. As you know, he talked about his time in TNA as the TNA champion, and of course, his time with as a tag team champion. However, he did state it, of course, that he is now here for the NXT championship versus Tony D'Angelo, that sort of thing. However, of course, Grayson Waller showed up and attacked both men. However, Montana was intended to take out Waller, but he accidentally got D'Angelo. So I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but it's going to be insane, crazy as we move forward. So we'll see what happens next week. But for right now, let's move on to our next part of our episode. Of course, I'll give you guys updates on WrestleCon. Alright guys, so let's give updates on what's happening for the upcoming WrestleCon event. Now, for those who are new to the channel, don't know what this is kind of like a wrestling convention for wrestlers. You have many wrestlers from the past and present, of course, being there, signing autographs. Doesn't matter what promotion they're in or what promotions they were in and all that. We had many wrestlers mention this, and this will happen during the time of SummerSlam, of course. But here's the deal: this is what we do know recently. The former members of what used to be the Wyatt Sick, of course, Shaw Samuels, formerly Dexter Loomis, will be there. So is Eric Redbeard, Joseph Sawyer, known as Joe Gacy, Nikki Storm, formerly known as Nikki Cross. Now, the information I do know, they will be there for all 3 days. So if any of my subscribers are going to SummerSlam and attending WrestleCon, now you know. Now, no mention of pricing if there's about autographs or photos involved. No. Now, we do have, of course, Hardcore Country. That's right, Mickie James, the legend, will be there, of course. She is only exclusive, of course, for Saturday and Sunday. However, there's no information about autographs or photos coming from her. Now, we do have Rhino, of course. Many of you know him from ECW. He will be there for all 3 days. Now, no details on photographs and autographs has been mentioned. Then we have, of course, Jeff Cobb, as you all know, recently was no longer with WWE. He will be there for this weekend for WrestleCon. He will be attending all 3 days, but here's the pricing for what is. If you want an autograph or a photo, it's only $30. However, if you want both, it's only $50. Now, an exclusive that's going to happen for the first time ever on the Friday, which is this coming Friday, the Main Event Mafia will be there. Yeah, that's right, guys. If you guys seen TNA, it was Kurt Angle, Sting, Kevin Nash, Booker T, and of course Scott Steiner. Together they were known as the Main Event Mafia. So they will be there for a one night only, a group shot only. I have to say, it's very interesting to see this. Now, we do have, of course, Tommy Dreamer will be there. He's only exclusive for all three for the Friday show. If anybody's planning for autographs or photos, it's $40. For both, it's $60. Now, we do have, of course, Rikishi. He will be there for Saturday only. For autographs or photos, it's only $60. But however, if you want both, it's $80. Then we have a guy named Ken Resnick. He is only exclusive on, of course, Friday. So yes. Then we have sad news. I have mentioned the Sky Blue will be there. However, she won't be there due to something else. However, Tekla will be there, but she was replaced by Maya World, who will be there. Now, she is only going to be there for the Saturday event. So if you want either a photograph or a picture of a photograph or an autograph, it's only $30. But if you want both, it's only $50. We have John Leonidas will be there for the Friday and Saturday only. No details on photographs and autographs as well. And I think that's pretty much it for everything that goes on. Now, I don't know if there'll be more names mentioning, but I'll keep you guys apprised on that. But as of right now, let's wrap up our episode, of course, with some news updates. Alright guys, so welcome to our news update. So let's start with upcoming events here. So let's start with GCW. Now, as you know, they will be in Omaha, Nebraska on the 31st of July for Top Play. Now, 2 matches have been announced. First one is Gary J versus Oren Vet. Then we have a tag team match. We got Vandal 48 taking on Davey Bang and August Matthews. Then, of course, on the 6th of August, we have the 20 years of Bad Boy, Nick Gage versus Rick Titus. And then, of course, we have first time ever Chris Statlander versus Marcus Mather. So that's going to be a very impressive match. Now, we do have Homecoming Part 1 on the taking place on the 15th of August in Atlantic City. Atticus Cover will put out an open challenge for the GCW World Championship. So it's still unclear who will challenge it, but we'll find out soon enough. Then we have the LA show on the 12th of September. No Signal in the Hills. It was announced Dark Sheik will take on Becca. Now we have House of Glory with High Intensity on the 7th of August. The House of Glory Crown Jewel Championship will be on the line. Zilla Fatu will defend it against the Amazing Red. And then, of course, finally, AEW Dynamite has announced for on September 6th in Athens, Georgia. They will do a show in remembrance of Rebel Heart, of course. As you all know, she's suffering with some sort of diagnosis, and they're doing a show just for her. And I thought it is a very nice thing for them to do. So that's pretty much it for our upcoming events. Now, we do have two developments here regarding involving, of course, WWE. Fightful Select reports that KJ Orso, formerly known as Fuego del Sol, is going to be on a WWE tryout this week. So it's interesting to hear he'll be involved, will be participating in tryout. It's still unclear what's going to happen after that. So I'll keep you guys apprised what's the situation on that. And then finally, of course, Red Lady with WWE. As you all know, Mike Santana now goes for Cruz Montana. WWE has filed a trademark name, Cruz Montana, so obviously. Now, I have a friend who mentioned his name is very messed up. What do you guys think of the name, Cruz Montana? I mean, I'm okay with that, but I would prefer with Mike Santana. I mean, you got Joe Hendry still with his name, so is Jordan Grace and all that, but it is what it is. So, let's see what happens. But as of right now, we are done. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I will continue to do more with the 5-star Grand Prix on a separate video. I will release a special video to keep up with all of it. I made a judgment call for the G1 Climax. I am behind on that. I'm just gonna focus on the tournament matches, not of course, the preview matches. I want to catch up with that as soon as possible. So we'll see how things go from there. What else I do? Oh yeah. As for our next episode, we will see what happens in the aftermath of AEW Dynamite coming off from Redemption this past Sunday. And of course, I believe we do have WWE Evolve taking place too. So we'll see how those things play out as we go. So as of right now, we'll leave things as it is. And I'll say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.